After a thorough review of the case file, the appropriate laws, and information gained during the investigation phase of the case, I filed 2 felony counts.
Breaking news tonight, charges have been filed in the shooting of Ralph Yarl. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Jackson.
And I'm Carolyn Long. This comes 4 days after the 16-year-old was shot in the head after knocking on the wrong door. Our KCTV5 News team is following the latest updates for you. First tonight, KCTV5's Nathan Vickers is live to explain what law enforcement believes happened on that day. Nathan?
That's right. Well, Lester is charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action. I have those charging documents right here. They outline what law enforcement say happens, and prosecutor Zachary Thompson took us through some of those charges earlier today. Here's what he told us. He told us that the charging documents reiterated that police narrative that Yarl had come to pick up relatives and had gone to the wrong address. He rang the doorbell but did not enter the home. According to the charging documents, Lester fired twice at Yarl with a .32 caliber Smith & Wesson revolver. He shot through the door, hitting Yarl in the head and chest. Lester cooperated with police afterward but was not arrested at the time. The 84-year-old man told police he was scared. It's unclear where Lester is right now. He's not in custody and he's not at home. Neighbors told us he was staying with someone. Thompson said his office approached this case impartially and objectively and believed that the justice system worked appropriately.
In Clay County, we enforce the laws and we follow the laws, and that does not matter where you come from or what you look like or how much money you have. Everyone is held to the same standard.
And Thompson also said that he does believe that there were racial factors at play in the shooting of Ralph Yarl. Reporting live in Liberty, Nathan Vickers, KCTV5 News.
Thank you, Nathan. Again, that defendant's name is Andrew Lester. Now that the charges are out, we want to give you a reminder of the timeline that led up to this.
Yeah, Ralph was shot twice in the head last Thursday around 10 p.m. after going to the wrong house to pick up his siblings. He went to the 1100 block of Northeast 115th Street, meant to go to 115th Terrace. After he was shot, Yarl then ran for help to 3 neighboring homes.
After they called police, the man who shot him was taken into custody just before midnight, but he was released less than 2 hours later at 1:24 a.m. Friday morning. Now, on Sunday, Police Chief Stacey Graves says they couldn't charge him until they interviewed Yarl. As of 3 p.m. today, Ralph's father told us he is out of the hospital and at home recovering now. Then at 4 o'clock, we learned the case has been turned over to the Clay County prosecutor, and those charges came down shortly after 5.
Mayor Quentin Lucas is reacting to those charges now for the first time via Twitter, saying, quoting here, "I am relieved to see this first step towards justice. Now we must remain engaged through the trial."
An investigative reporter, Angie Racono, has been pouring through charging documents.
Yeah, she's also talked to legal experts about Missouri's castle doctrine that gives people the right to defend their own home. Angie, what can you tell us at this point?
Well, we have both stand your ground and the castle doctrine in Missouri. Stand your ground is you can defend yourself wherever you are. Castle doctrine is you can protect your home and your property. So let's get right to the charging documents and give you some more details. The homeowner says he heard his doorbell ring. He grabs his gun and goes to check. Andrew Lester claims the young man is pulling on the storm door handle and he was scared to death. He believed the teen was trying to break in, so he shoots him. It also says Andrew Lester called 911. Now, the young man, he has a very different version of events and says he did not pull on the handle. He's waiting patiently at the door to get his brothers. The homeowner answers the door with a gun and says, "Don't come around here." He tells police he was shot twice. The teen runs for help, but it takes multiple homes, like you said, before he gets that help. Now, earlier today, I spoke with attorney Phil Lavoda. He explained Missouri's castle doctrine.
That means your home is your castle. Under the castle doctrine, which Missouri has, is that you can protect your property from an illegal intruder and using deadly force. Now, that person has to be there illegally. That's a problem with this case. This person, if and when they're charged with this shooting, is going to have to prove that this young man was there illegally. Someone knocking on the door at your house does not make you an illegal person trespassing that would raise the level of using the castle doctrine as a defense.
Now, we don't know what Andrew Lester will argue in court, but we can tell you he's telling police in his mind he was defending his home. The bottom line is you are not trespassing when you ring a doorbell. Angie Racono, KCTV5 News.
Thank you for that update, Angie. Now let's get to KCTV5's Morgan Mobley, who spoke with Ralph's father today.
Yeah, she joins us live now from Staley High School. Well, Ralph was a junior this year. Hi, Morgan.
Hey there, well, Ralph's dad had tears streaming down his face when we talked about the fact that Ralph will get to walk back through these school doors, continue his education, and go on to do great things. He says he knows it easily could have gone the other way.
Everybody in the doctor's office called it a miracle because they said that the kind of injury he had, he's doing better than expected. So imagine that.
His dad says ever since Ralph woke up in the hospital, he's had that same smile on that you can see in the left picture on your left. Ralph is described as a model kid, very bright, a great student, friend, son, and big brother. He's also an incredible musician. His dad, Paul, still can't wrap his head around what happened to his son, but says it is imperative the proper steps are taken so history does not repeat itself.
My first focus is Ralph, and second, possibly justice, that this should not be repeated for a kid like a Ralph from the same person.
And if students would like to help support Ralph right now, there are a couple things going on in his honor. The first one, tomorrow morning, there's going to be a unity walk right here at this high school at 10:30. There's also a card collection going on through the art department. They're hoping to get at least 1,000 cards brought to Ralph so he can be reading those through his recovery. We've got all of those details over on our website, kctv5.com. Reporting live in Kansas City, Morgan Mobley, KCTV5 News.
So much support, obviously, out there for Ralph. We thank you for that update, Morgan. Even Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, one of many reacting to this story, had this to say during a news conference today.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I just want to say my prayers and support are for Ralph and his recovery. You never want these situations to happen. But especially from the details that I've gotten from it, it seemed like it should have never even happened. It should have been a easy kind of conversation. And then, just hopefully the justice system does right by him and everyone involved, and we're able to not have to have these conversations, and we were able to hold each other accountable for our actions.
And the vice president is also weighing in. Kamala Harris tweeted out today that she and her husband are praying for Yarl and his family, also saying, quote, "Let's be clear, no child should ever live in fear of being shot for ringing the wrong doorbell."
Here locally, too, a community meeting being scheduled to discuss the impact of all of this. KCTV5's Betsy Webster joins us live now with more on that. What's happening, Betsy?
Well, that's scheduled to happen here at 3114 Paseo. Right now, I've only seen a handful of cars arrive. Meanwhile, 2 high-profile national lawyers are now involved as well. While local rallies like this one outside the suspect's house where the shooting took place on Thursday were putting on pressure in numbers, prominent civil rights lawyers are using the courts as well as their clout. Lee Merritt and Ben Crump have announced that they are representing Yarl's family. Crump previously filed suits related to the shooting deaths of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and George Floyd. I should say not all of those were shooting deaths, to be clear. He contends Yarl's shooting was the result of racial profiling.
There is no way you can justify this. Think about how ludicrous this is. You have people who are delivering packages with Amazon and FedEx. And so are we going to start tolerating, if it's a black citizen, that you can shoot them and then go home and sleep in your bed at night after the police question you? It is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
In the probable cause statement that was filed along with the charges, the 85-year-old white man who was charged, Andrew Lester, told police he was, quote, scared to death because of Yarl's size. The Clay County prosecutor says there were or are racial components to this case, but he would not explain any further. Live in Kansas City, Missouri, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Betsy, thank you for that update, too. And as you can see, support is pouring in for Ralph in many ways from all across the country. But in one big way, this GoFundMe to help him pay his medical and legal bills has already raised nearly $2 million. Still time to help out? Or we continue to follow this story for you. You can download the KCTV5 News app for the latest updates, and there you'll find that link to his GoFundMe page there on our story.